The top two administrators at UNCP turn in their resignations within days of each other.
And local soldiers are being deployed overseas to help combat the deadly virus sweeping West Africa. I'm Dolphins Pearson III.
And I'm Christina McNamara. Welcome to Carolina News Today from the campus of UNC Pembroke.
Chancellor Kyle Carter has announced his retirement after 41 years in higher education. In a letter to the university, he said he evaluates his career every 5 years, and after 5 years of being at UNCP, it's time to consider the next step. Carter has advanced the university towards many milestones under his leadership. He raised academic standards, increased undergrad retention rates, and says he made it through plenty of budget cuts without compromising programs. Carter promised the campus community that he will make sure the next chancellor is well positioned to carry on the mission of UNCP. He plans to retire on June 30th. Last week, Chancellor announced that Provost Kitts will be leaving the university to become the new president at the University of North Alabama. Kitts told the Pine Needle that he will leave in March.
UNCP student-athlete graduation rates are at a record high. 61% of student-athletes graduating puts UNCP third amongst the Peach Belt Conference institutions and first amongst NCAA Division II schools in the UNC system. The university's graduation rate also exceeded the national average for Division II athletes by more than 10%. Athletic Director Dick Christie says the success of UNCP student-athletes on and off the field should be a point of pride on campus.
An assault on campus on November, a vehicle theft in August, and the proven vulnerability of the ATM in parking lot 12 could leave students feeling a little skittish. Still, UNCP is actually a pretty safe place statistically speaking, and relative to all the schools in the UNC system. But CNT reporter Savannah Thompson asked students how they feel and what they know about safety resources on campus.
Here at UNC Pembroke, it is important for students to know how safe they are on campus. Here are a couple students answering trivial questions and personal questions about their safety on campus. How safe do you feel on campus?
If I were to give a rating, I'd put a 8 out of 10.
Probably about an 8 or 9. I mean, I feel really safe, but it just kind of depends. You never know what's going to happen.
I feel pretty safe on campus, mainly because, I don't really bother anybody. Nobody really bothers me. I think I'm a pretty likable guy. I don't have any enemies, I don't think, so.
I feel pretty safe. I stay on campus most of the time. I don't ever really go off campus. So.
Pretty safe. Yeah, I think I am.
Do you know where the police station is on campus and off campus?
Yes, the police station on campus is located over there by Oak. Off campus, I am not quite sure, but I do have the number in my phone for off-campus police department.
Do you tend to walk alone or with a small group at nighttime?
I tend to walk alone. I try to walk with a small group, but if I can, I'll get somebody to drop me off, but if not, I just walk alone.
I usually have a group of my friends walk with me, so safer that way.
I'm usually alone most of the time, but there are some times when I'm with a small group.
Can you name a location where there's a call tower on campus?
No, I can't. I don't know where the call tower is.
A lot of the call towers are over on this side of campus. There's some by Cypress. There's one on the way to Sampson, and then we have more over here. They're kind of spread out around campus, so that way if you are in any type of harm, they're running distance from you.
Last week, the world's largest student film festival passed through UNCP once again and invited students to make a short movie in 7 days. The winners of this year's Campus Movie Fest event include 4 broadcasting majors who help bring you Carolina News Today. Associate producer Crystal Dean and reporter Jeffrey Weeks made the top 4 with their film Old Spirits. Other winners included Dakota Young and Jamil R.C., who sometimes cover campus events for CNT.
On a speaking tour for the 50th anniversary for the Civil Rights Act, Dr. W.A. Merritt of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference spoke on campus last week. He led a discussion of the history of the Civil Rights Movement, touching on events such as the March on Washington and Bloody Sunday in Selma, Alabama. Merritt is field secretary for the SCLC in North Carolina. His visit was co-sponsored by the Office for Diversity and Inclusion, Brother to Brother, and the University chapter of the NAACP.
Can you hear the people sing? Music, laughs, and heartwarming performances were presented by students of the musical theater department last week. The shows featured the songs of composer Stephen Sondheim. CNT reporter Cole Murray took a look at the show.
We've grown into just a higher standard of vocal quality. And Sondheim is one of the most difficult to learn and to sing. And I won't go into the explanation of that because I probably don't really know why, but it is. I've done some Sondheim shows myself as a performer, and they're just difficult. So that was one of the reasons. The other reason is we're going to do a Sondheim show in the spring. And about half these kids in this show are like fairly new, freshmen, sophomores. But everybody needed to get up to speed on working on Sondheim songs. So it's just sort of it's a practice show for the big show in the spring.
Well, Stephen Sondheim is a very famous musical theater composer, actually one of the most famous musical theater composers of this day and age, and we just felt it would be a good idea to do a review of the things that he's written over the years, even starting with one of his earlier pieces, the lyrics in the musical West Side Story, and then the rest of things which were composed by him and lyrics also by him.
So over the course of time putting this together, what's been the best part about being a part of this and in your class and doing this show for everyone?
Getting to do the group numbers together, it really builds a kind of sense of community between all of the performers, and it really helps to have a cheery, energetic presence on stage.
Decisions made at the Lumberton City Council meeting this week will bring new business opportunities to our area. The council approved petitions to build a new restaurant and oyster bar, apartment buildings, and a livestock trailer washing facility in Lumberton. Other items on the agenda included the acceptance of several grants that will benefit the Lumberton Police Department. More than $200,000 in grant money will enable the DWI enforcement team to add 2 new members to their force. Council members also approved a draft of a policy that will allow the purchase of naming rights for city recreation facilities.
There is a new opportunity for young ladies in the area to have a chance at being Miss North Carolina. The Miss Greater Southeastern Scholarship Pageant is a new preliminary event to Miss North Carolina and Miss America. The contest will serve Robeson, Bladen, Brunswick, Columbus, Hoke, and Scotland counties. Miss contestants must be between the ages of 17 and 24. Pageant co-directors Frederick Stevens and Jason Bullock are also looking for teens ages 13 to 17 to participate in the Outstanding Teen competition. Scholarships will be awarded to the winning Miss and Teen. Miss Greater Southeastern will be held on March 7th at Robeson Community College.
In Pembroke, a murder-suicide claimed the life of a man and his ex-girlfriend. According to the Robesonian newspaper, 40-year-old Leonard Patton fatally shot himself after an altercation in which he shot 41-year-old Daphne Tanner. Patton had gone to her home on Friday, confronted a man there, and then killed Tanner before shooting himself in the head. His family told his paper he was declared brain dead and died the same day. The sheriff's office has not released the names of the other man who was at the home or any information about the injuries he might have sustained.
Some young adults are just thinking about getting through college, but one Fayetteville teen is aspiring to be the best Bojangles biscuit maker. 19-year-old Nicholas Nolan will be competing for the honor in the 18th annual Bojangles Master Biscuit Challenge in Charlotte this week. In order to compete, participants must be skilled in the 48-step process of making Bojangles' signature item. Nolan has been working at the Fayetteville Bojangles for almost 2 years and will be the youngest participant in the contest. Fort Bragg soldiers deploy to West Africa, but the battle is a medical one.
And North Carolina regulators prepare to adopt new rules that will usher in a new era of oil and gas exploration. We'll be back after these messages.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
No more pencils, no more books.
No more teachers, dirty looks.
School's out!
For summer.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%.
To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united.
Soldiers from Fort Bragg have left for West Africa for the Department of Defense Ebola support mission. Deployment was Monday for more than 50 soldiers from Fort Bragg's 50th Signal Battalion. It was the first deployment in the operation code named United Assistance to leave from Fort Bragg. According to the Fayetteville Observer, local airmen have also been tapped to deploy for the mission. Military officials continue to remind the public that troops will have little to no contact with actual patients. They will serve in support positions, including some who will help local law enforcement.
Thousands of members of the military are leaving active service and entering civilian life. But a new study reveals that the transition is not necessarily an easy one. This survey is especially of interest near Veterans Day. The Department of Labor estimates that 722,000 veterans were unemployed because of a disability directly related to their service. With that in mind, the personal finance website Wallet Hub took a look at some factors that make life easier for veterans and ranked the best cities for those returning home. It looked at factors like the number of jobs available for people with military-related skills, the overall veteran unemployment rate, and the number of veteran-owned businesses. With those factors and a few others in mind, they determined that Lincoln, Nebraska is the best city for veterans. States such as Texas, California, and Florida have a large military presence and tend to have more cities that do well in the rankings.
North Carolina could see new fracking rules as soon as January. The State Mining and Energy Commission will vote this weekend on suggested regulatory changes that will head to the North Carolina legislature. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources have received more than 200,000 comments from the public regarding fracking regulations and held 4 public hearings. In the summer, Governor McCrory had signed into law a bill that lifted the moratorium on this hydraulic fracturing. The process included injecting elements such as sand, water, and chemicals to separate underground contents, so oil and gas are released. Rules are being proposed would allow the surprise inspections and authority to halt a company's operations on the spot if violations are found.
A teen that was given 2 weeks left to live is making the most of it and crossing items off of his bucket list left and right. CNN News Source brings us this touching story from a TV station in San Francisco.
Yes, please.
2 weeks is what doctors give him. Diagnosed with osteosarcoma, 17-year-old Alex has already had 16 surgeries and countless sessions of chemo and radiation.
The best way to deal with things is just to stay positive.
2 years ago, the bone cancer started in his leg. It went into remission, then spread to his lungs.
And I remember saying that I just hope it doesn't hurt. And it did. It broke me many times. But I always seem to put myself back together.
Right now, there's a large tumor pressing down on his heart. He's always tired, and the fluid in his lungs causes him to cough a lot. Doctors are hoping the current radiation treatment will slow its growth. But none of that is stopping him from living out some of his dreams. The bucket list that started out as a joke between Matt Cox and his mother quickly became reality. Through the Give It Forward website, strangers from all over have helped him check off the list.
Almost none of these people I knew. That kind of just makes you feel special, you know?
This tat gave him a chance to pay tribute to one of his favorite shows, The Game of Thrones, and his girlfriend Rachel. Although he's a few weeks shy of his 18th birthday, his mother told him to go for it.
We were thinking that I'd be around for New Year's and stuff, but it's unfortunate. I'm gonna go down swinging, but it's unfortunate.
Reporting in San Jose, Alicia Reed.
Thousands of people gathered Sunday near Germany's historic Brandenburg Gate to celebrate the anniversary of the end of an era. It has been 25 years since the fall of the wall that separated East and West Berlin. CNN Mary's Molyneux shows us the event was marked by both moments of somber and joyous.
Berliners released 8,000 lighted white balloons into the sky Sunday, marking the path of the Berlin Wall with a sign of peace. A quarter of a century has passed since the fall of the Berlin Wall, nearly 27 miles of concrete and barbed wire that separated East and West Berlin from 1961 to 1989. Cutting off friends and relatives in the same city, it became an iconic symbol of the Cold War. German Chancellor Angela Merkel commemorated the occasion with words of hope.
The fall of wall showed us that dreams can come true. Nothing has to stay how it is.
On November 9th, 1989, Germans tore the wall down, some with their hands, others using hammers and pickaxes. Berlin's mayor praised the citizens of East Berlin for igniting the spark that signaled the end of the Cold War.
The fall of the wall was a result of the movement by the people of East Berlin. It was not the work by politicians, it was the work by the citizens of the city.
A 1.6-mile-long portion of the wall, known as the East Side Gallery, is still standing and accessible to viewers. After commemorating the wall with the border of light, beginning at the historic Brandenburg Gate, celebrants heard the Ode to Joy from the fourth movement of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. The work has become the theme of East-West unification. I'm Mary Maloney, reporting.
Candles will burn at the National Memorial for the victims of the Berlin Wall. Official numbers reflect 200 people who died while trying to cross from East to West Berlin. Some were shot by guards, others died in accidents. Coming up in sports, James McGee tells us how the Braves men's basketball team upset a Division I team.
And the 11th ranked wrestling team puts their mark on the annual Pembroke Classic. We'll be right back.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your GED.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future and sign up for free classes now at yourged.org.
Oh, this must be super embarrassing. Let me get that terrible driver I just got pulled over look. Wait, click. Perfect.
Whether you're a driver or a passenger, you're required by law to buckle up or face a fine up to $161. Click it or ticket. Every seat, every time.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary.
Hi, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Good afternoon. My name is Chief Warrant Officer John Tatum. I'm stationed at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and I'm currently deployed to Kabul, Afghanistan. I just wanted to take a little time to send a shout out to my family, my wife Stephanie and my son Dutch back at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and thank you for the opportunity. Go Panthers.
Welcome back. UNCP athletics tried to do their part in recognizing America's servicemen and women in advance of Veterans Day. Reporter Joshua White, himself an ROTC cadet, followed members of the military onto the field at Grace P. Johnson Stadium, where they enjoyed a Braves football game on the sidelines.
This is Joshua White reporting for Carolina News Today. On Saturday, November 8th, our UNCP Braves football team took on the Valdosta State Blazers. November 8th was also Military Appreciation Day, where current and former military members, as well as UNCP Army ROTC cadets, were recognized for their service. Also, the cadets were given the opportunity to watch the football game from the sidelines. The ROTC cadets were happy to be a part of Military Appreciation Day and support the UNCP football team.
For me, Military Appreciation Day is a day for everybody to take a second and to thank the U.S. military members for the sacrifices that they make to make it able for everybody to live the type of comfortable lifestyles that they do. And for me, as a cadet, I can respect that, and that's what Military Appreciation Day is for me.
UNCP students were also very supportive of military members and what Military Appreciation Day stands for.
I think it's a great day to honor the military, both those who are serving now and those who have already served.
The UNCP Braves football team would go on to lose to Valdosta State 36-7. However, spirits remained high for UNCP on Military Appreciation Day. For Carolina News Today, this is Joshua White.
With the loss to the Valdosta State, the Braves were dealt their 7th loss in a row and 4th straight at home. This was the final opportunity for the senior Braves to give it their all for Brave Nation. The defense had its struggles, allowing 487 total yards for the game. That's more than 100 yards over their season average of 352.7. Early in the second half, the Braves recovered a fumble that finally brought energy to the Braves, but they failed to capitalize on the golden opportunity with a 3-and-out drive. After 3 scoreless quarters, quarterback Reggie Pender charged downfield with a 15-yard run that shifted momentum towards the offense for the first time all game. 4 plays later, Pender chucked a 32-yard pass to Jonathan Huff for number 17's second touchdown of the year. Head coach Shane Richardson and his crew plan to finish strong in their last game of the season at Limestone.
In this last week, we want to finish very, very well. And I really want to see just some great competitors stepping up to the plate and understanding that we're not just cashing it in no matter what the record is. We're going to finish well, and we're going to take some pride in what we do and how we do it.
Skyland High School faced off against the Richmond Raiders in a matchup that decided the Southeastern Conference Championship. Skyland running back Quadrin Williams rushed for 106 yards, including a short touchdown run that gave the Scots an early lead. Later in the game, Skyland quarterback Deshaun Ferguson had his pass deflected on a 4th down that allowed the Raiders to decrease their deficit with a field goal. The Scots started to roll midway into the second half with a 50-yard heave from Ferguson to receiver Randy Lee. This is now the 4th straight title for the Scots as they head into the playoffs as a number 3 seed. Last weekend, the 11th ranked wrestling squad had 18th-place winners in the 34th annual Pembroke Classic. Defending national champion Daniel Ownby joined the 100-win club with the perfect 4-0 record in the tournament of 10 teams. Ownby, Hayden Fry, Juan Stimson, and Terrence Zowski all nabbed titles in their weight divisions. 24 Brave wrestlers captured 2 or more victories, with Quan Lee and Hayden Smith posting a team-best 5 wins. Next weekend, they will travel to Research Triangle to continue their excellence at the Wolfpack Open in Raleigh. Men's basketball finished their preseason at Division I University of Alabama Birmingham with a 72-71 victory in the exhibition game. The Braves had a field goal percentage of 39.4, shooting 26 for 66. Senior Griffin Pittman put up 12 of his 16 points in the first half and also gave the Braves a win with a last-second free throw. The team capitalized on UAB's 18 turnovers with 16 points and 32 points in the paint. After this preseason victory, the Braves traveled this weekend to Salisbury to face Lenore Ryan in the first game of the SAC PBC Challenge. The cross-country teams placed in the top 5 last weekend at the Peach Belt Championships. Tim Sigmund and Joel Johnston captured 5th and 6th for the men's 8K, while Kendra Doran shaved off 30 seconds from her personal best time. The men matched their best finish in the championship with a 2nd-place finish, having 5 runners ranked in the top 20. Kendra Doran, Leah Tardanako, and Olivia Lohman rounded out the top 25 for the women, who placed 5th overall. The teams will move on to the NCAA Division II Southeast Region Championships at the end of the month in Alabama. That's all we got time for in sports. I'm James McGee.
And I'm Dolphins Pearson. For Christina McNamara and the rest of the crew here at Carolina News Today, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. And don't forget to check out our blog at carolinanewstoday.com.
Hey guys, want to see something really funny? Okay. Watch.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
We're gonna need some help.
Yep.
Your child's safety is important. That's why there's buckleupnc.org. Buckleupnc.org is your home for resources, guides, and a list of professionals to teach you how to install your child's safety seat the right way.
Perfect.